So you're on your way to work when your mobile device goes off. You look down and you have an email, and in the subject line you see two words, hot suspense. Instantly you know that when you get logged in, you've got to take care of that hot suspense right now. But when you get to your desk, you find out that the network connection for your whole building is down. Oftentimes this is due to underground cable cuts. We're looking to reduce the frequency of these outages by using augmented reality to provide a fast, accurate, and efficient way to locate our utilities. Currently, the process is done by using an electronic box that sends a tone down the utility path. That tone is then picked up on a wand as you see pictured here, and that indicates the path direction. The path is then marked accordingly. So what's the problem? The big problem is this process is outdated, slow, and most of all, it's inefficient. The Air Force uses an average of 14 man-hours per locate in 2 to 3 person teams to accomplish these jobs. Most of all, this does not just affect communication squadrons, this affects everybody who's out there locating utilities. But the worst part is the Air Force is tracking the location of our utilities using GPS data, and we're not using it to its full potential. But our solution is going to throw that problem in the trash. We're going to transfer our GPS data from our mapping database to an augmented reality application and device to provide a real-time view of the underground utilities in the field. This will provide that accurate, fast, and efficient way of locating our utilities. So how good is it? With this technology, we'll be able to complete our locates 35 to 50% faster, which will save us a minimum of 1,180 hours per person annually. And these locates are required to be remarked every 30 days after the initial locate. We'll be able to complete those relocates in 66 to 80% less time. And this technology has proven use in the commercial industry with vendors such as ExxonMobil and Chevron. So currently we've done research on the cost and process of application development. We've also done research on the use of the technology and the success of that in the commercial industry. We also received a demonstration of the way that the Air Force Research Laboratory is using the Microsoft HoloLens for augmented reality at the Munitions Directorate. I have experience locating these cables and spending these grueling hours, and I can tell you I've been out there for longer than 14 hours before. And in the hot Florida sun, that's not fun. So currently we have support from the Air Force Research Laboratory. We have support from the 96 Test Wing, but there's one more group of people that'll really help us cut down on man hours if we can get them on board. And that's our civil engineering leaders, because their airmen too can use this to locate their utilities. So we're asking for $530,000 for the application development and the cost of the Microsoft HoloLens. We're also asking for that initial man hours for the data collection and validation. But what's awesome about that is once it's validated, it's in there for life because they're underground and they're not going to move. We're also asking for assistance finding an application developer who will be approved to look at our 4 official use only data. So with this, we will first select our developer. We'll then develop the application and test the application. We'll purchase the Microsoft HoloLens and provide a proof of concept. And then we will begin initial implementation at Eglin Air Force Base and eventually push this across the Air Force, of which we'll be able to achieve total process improvement and return those man hours back to directly affecting the Air Force mission. So will you help us transform yesterday's process using today's technology, and in turn help yourself stay connected when you need to be and be disconnected when you don't? And with that, I'll take your questions.
Wow. Hey, great job, LT. I mean, Airman Strauser, sorry, not LT. Great job.
Thanks for the promotion.
Well, hey, man, after that, you might get promoted. You know? That's good. Hey, I do have one question.
Yes, sir.
It looked like in your second phase there, you know, it was some development, you know, working on the app, but
Yes,
it's in use with Exxon, Chevron,
Yes, sir.
some of those other companies. So is it commercial off the shelf that we're just, you know, working into our situation, or is there going to be a lot of, are we going to have to tweak it and, you know, really change it for us to be able to use?
So we could theoretically use those commercial off-the-shelf options. It would be all about just determining if those application developers could view our official use only data as far as the utility locations and, you know, them seeing our utility lines go from building X to building Y, and that building Y could be building 1. So it's all about trying to keep it all internal, essentially.
Great briefing. That was fantastic, and something I'd never thought about prior to this, which is phenomenal. So you had mentioned at the beginning that there's a GPS tie-in that we're not utilizing to the maximum extent. I'm not sure I caught during the briefing what exactly are we not doing with regard to GPS and our underground power cable lines and things of that nature.
Right, so currently we take the GPS data and we keep it in our own internal systems, which we can utilize in the office, but then we have to print it off and take it to the field. And while that's accurate, it's going to be a way overarching view, and you may not know the exact location when you're using a map when you're out in the field. So we'll be able to take that and display it in real time right in front of the user and say, cable X is right here, and you know it's right there.
Okay, that provides a lot more clarity to me. Now, I think my next question would be, certain facilities are really important to the execution of our mission. What's the backbone of the capability for someone to infiltrate electronically to know where those lines are buried?
Right, so it depends on the level of complication we would want with the application. We could provide exact cable number to exact building and exact pair count, but we would like to pare that down and just make it, this line goes here. Okay. So that would kind of help keep that at a minimum.
Mr. Strasser, so brilliant idea, brilliant proposed solution. Can you help us understand the actual scale or magnitude of how many people this helps? You said around 1,100 man hours per person.
Yes.
So how many people are we talking about, at least in your field, and then with the scalability to the civil engineers? And so that's the first part question. And then what would you do with that time that you would save?
So in the Cable Dog career field, I'm a Cable Dog 3D1X7. So we have roughly 1,000, maybe a little less than 1,000 people in our career field. So at 1,100 hours per person, that's just astronomical. And then with adding the civil engineers on board, that's just really going to help us save more time. And so with my job, we install your LAN cables when you have a work order put in, or if your phone goes out, we will come out and we repair those. So we'll be able to knock out remedy tickets faster, knock out work orders faster, and then the CE folks will be able to take care of their work orders and their tickets faster as well.
I'll tell you what, Tyler, I don't have a question for you, but I want to give you a little bit of feedback. How long have you been in the Air Force?
I just hit 4 years, December 28th.
4 years.
Yes, sir.
You're up here on this stage, flawlessly briefing and answering questions from these senior leaders in the Air Force. I'm proud of you.
Thank you,
Your
sir.
whole Cable Dog community should be proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
And I hope when you get finished here, you go back and you call your family, whoever that is, wherever they're at, and you just let them know what an amazing job you did. That is outstanding. You get up here, keep your composure, and do that. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Trouser. Appreciate it, man. Good job.
Thank you.
Rock it out.
Cool.
Thanks.
You represent a Cable Dog.